welcome. You're onto Aspheric TV, and this is the morning newspaper briefing. This is the program where we bring you front pages of Nigerian dailies, and we get to discuss some of these headlines with our invited guests. I'll start off with the Punch newspaper. It says here, Muslim to Muslim tickets, no agreements with Tinubu, CAN insists talks tough. Donation to Kuka Center not bribe to pacify Christians, says CAN. CAN's conscience not for sale, prophetic voice cannot be silenced, Christian body. PDP G3 over Tinubu's visit to Jonathan, APC. Onanuga promises issue-based campaigns. Fraud, EFCC arraigns Ogun Speaker, assembles 10 witnesses. Former buildings collapse, corpses recovered, commissioner resigns. The Nation newspaper, it says here, PDP crisis, I will crush my detractors, says Wike. It's too late to break my ranks. Atiku already sharing positions before poll, says Rivers governor. Worst of insecurity is over, federal government tells Nigerians. 3,407 insurgents surrendered, 96 arrested by troops. Abuja to Kaduna highway now safe. 66 terrorists killed. Anti-terror war to be intensified. 52 captives rescued. The Daily Trust newspaper says will eliminate all terrorists by December. FG says worst of insecurity is over. Counter-insurgency not fair fight, Defense Minister. Economic reforms must support military offensive, security experts. Buhari suspends new excise duty, telecoms tariff hike. The Vanguard newspaper says 48 hours to NAC meeting, PDP set for make or mar session. 65, Kuje prison attack, 65 well-armed operatives were on guard, Ari Beshola tells reps panel. The This Day newspaper says, you have till December to crush all terrorists, bandits, Buhari orders armed forces. FG says security situation has improved nationwide. Intelligence agencies, others vow to contain terror financing. UK High Commissioner visits Tinubu. The picture is there on the This Day newspaper. The Daily Sun newspaper says Oyetola approves recruitment of 1,500 teachers. Banditry, terrorism will end December. FG. Tinubu Shettima wounds distance selves from Buhari's government. APC says visit to Jonathan for national unity. The Nigerian Tribune says FG presents insecurity Nigeria's greatest threat. Present insecurity, I beg your pardon. Nigeria's greatest threat since civil war. As far as the daunting security challenges we face are concerned, we can tell you that the worst is over. Never again will terrorists and bandits and their cohorts hold sway in our country. Lagos Commissioner resigns as death toll from building collapse rises to 6. Kidnappers demand 90 million naira for release of travelers in Ondo. Terrorists vow to kill DPO in captivity despite paying 7 million naira ransom. Also, CAN denies meeting Tinubu, maintains position on Muslim to Muslim tickets. 44 kidnapped Zamfara worshippers working on bandits' plantations. Those are the newspaper headlines we have. I'll go on a short break. When I return, I'll introduce my guests. I will be discussing some of these headlines. Please stay with us. Welcome back. I have my guest in the studio, and he's Mr. C.B. Clifford. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gift.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
I'd start off with the political story, actually. The PDP crisis that has been going on for a while now seems there's no end in sight as it is. And then today in the papers, Wike has vowed to put an end to his enemies, which is like referring to the chairman of the party. And then also he has claimed that the presidential candidate is already sharing positions to people even before the elections.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about these accusations, so to speak?
They are not accusations, actually, because Wike said it, that he would put an end to, he would crush his enemies, actually. But then I wonder, who are the enemies? Members of your own political party? Just because of you didn't have your way as the presidential aspirant or the presidential candidate of the party. I mean, Wike's attitude is not worthy of emulation when it comes to a sane democracy. You understand? I mean, democracy is a game of numbers, and after the numbers, there are negotiations, and at the elections where you're supposed to win with the highest numbers, you couldn't win, and then you proceed to causing issues in the political party just because you didn't have your way. I mean, if every other presidential aspirant in the past told this same line, he wouldn't have had a platform to run under the PDP. If everybody that lost election in the past in the PDP had vowed to destroy the party, I mean, he wouldn't have had a platform to even be governor. So some of these things I feel are just as a result of the fact that he is deeply pained. Yeah, so it's like if it's not me, then no one, then we'll all drown together. So.
And then Wike has also claimed that there's over-concentration of critical positions to the north. And why I called it a claim was because this aspect of it where he said the presidential candidate, which is Atiku Abubakar, has started sharing roles already within the party.
When it comes to presidential campaign?
Generally.
I mean, what other positions are being shared now, if not for the electoral campaign? Because I believe the PDP national officers were duly elected as their constitution stipulated. And these officers had their tenures outlined in the PDP constitution. You cannot just wake up to ask the chairman of the party, who was duly elected by party delegates, to resign simply because you're no longer comfortable with his leadership. Yes. If you asked who removed Sheriff as national chairman of the party,
Wike was one of the top.
Wike was instrumental to the removal of Governor Wike. If you also ask who removed the former immediate past chairman of the party, PDP, Uche Secondus, Wike was instrumental to the removal. The party listened to him at all these times. You understand? He also was instrumental to the emergence of this current chairman of the party against every other stakeholders in the party. He had his way and installed Ayu as chairman because of his own personal ambition, and now it is no longer favorable for you. You want to remove Ayu as chairman again. I keep asking this question: why does PDP have to bend to Wike all the time? Why is he so powerful? Is it that nobody can bring the kind of money he brings in the party? And for the records, the vice presidential candidate of the party, Ifeanyi Okowa, was one of the largest donors of the party in terms of these last primaries. So he's not the only cash cow in the party. There are people who can financially sponsor the party. And Wike alone cannot tell Rivers people who to vote for. You can only influence your party, the PDP. You cannot influence the whole of Rivers people. Yes.
Moving on to the insecurity issues that have been going on in the country. Yesterday we saw some good news as the armed forces had, should I say, a major victory against the terrorists. And then today in the papers we see, should I call it a promise or a mandate coming from the president, says they will eliminate all terrorists by December. What do you think about this? Because this terrorism issue is not something that has been going on for months or even a few years. It's been going on for well over 8 years, thereabouts.
Yeah.
And then this is the federal government claiming that they will eliminate terrorists by December. What are your thoughts?
Well, this same federal government have said that they have defeated Boko Haram.
You've said that before.
They've said that before. So, okay, do they want to tell us now that the new faction of terrorists are not Boko Haram? Or they are a different sect, like, okay, ISWAP is different from Boko Haram. So, I don't like when government just make bogus statements. What are the mechanisms that are being put in place to curb terrorism? How, what is their mode of operation? How realistic is this statement? Because Nigerians actually celebrate, or should I say amplify, most of these statements that government just issues out without really wanting to find out how do they intend to achieve this. I mean, this is September, and for 4 months, if I'm not mistaken, captives have been held. They were kidnapped in the Kaduna train, and you've not been able to get them released, and you're telling us by December all terrorists will be captured. I mean, for me, it's not realistic. It's not a realistic statement. I mean, they just put out that to douse the tension and all that. That's how I feel.
And there was also a segment of the headline in one of the papers that said Abuja-Kaduna highway is now safe. And if you recall, in the past, not even in the past, not for long ago, the road is known for kidnapping and all of that. And then now the military has come out to say, or rather the federal government has come out to say that that road is now safe.
How are they sure? Is it because people haven't been attacked along the road lately in the last 1 month or so? Well, the last time I applied that route was in May, and every single person in the vehicle was praying for safe travels. Let us just drive through that path peacefully. I mean, there is tension. If you look at the road network, the distance where you find security operatives is very, very unsafe. You drive for a very long time before you find security operatives on that road, and it's a very lonely highway. So how would you convince Nigeria? You can't. That's why I said they just make this statement just to douse down the tension. You understand? Have you been able to sanitize the forest around those places? Have there been combing of this forest? Have they apprehended most of these terrorists along that route and displayed them to Nigerians so that Nigerians know that they have sanitized that Kaduna to Abuja expressway? You don't just make statements like that and put Nigerians at risk to allow them travel like that. But well, Johnny Mercy's lies in the hands of God. Government only would play their role. You understand? So.
And then you brought up something. You mentioned the kidnapped victims from the Abuja Kaduna train. And then in the papers today, we were told that some kidnapped victims in Zamfara State are working on those bandits' plantation. Basically, they are now like slaves, or so to speak, for the bandits. And those people they've not been able to rescue them.
You see, government do not really want to take the right steps. You can't just tell me that those kidnappers are more sophisticated than the Nigerian army. If there is a will, there is a way. Somebody said, who is a controversy theorist, he said that the government allowed these terrorists to break the Kuje prison because they wanted to do a bargain, release your Boko Haram members so we could get the terrorists kidnapped at the train, Abuja to Kaduna train.
The victims, rather.
Yeah. So why would I don't believe that actually, but you know, Nigerians come up with different controversy theories, but if you look at it deeply, why was there no military men on check the day the prison was attacked? How were they able to carry out the attack successfully and spend some time there without military?
Well, the answer to that question of yours is actually on the Vanguard newspaper, because they say 65 well-armed operatives were on guard. That is what Arigbeshola tells the reps panel that is investigating this prison attack.
How could you tell us that 65 well-armed operatives were on guard and then these the operation still were able to break the prison? I mean, it's insensible for the minister to say that. I mean, that is damage control as far as I'm concerned. I don't take the statements of these politicians very seriously, because, you see, they know what is the truth, they know what is obtainable, and they don't tell you, just because they don't want you to see them as incompetent. So the reality on ground is that the attack happened, and the 65 armed guys, how many numbers they say, couldn't stop it. So what? It's as better as they're not there.
Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully the situation is being tackled. It's actually our hope that it actually
Nigeria belongs to all of us.
Exactly.
We want a peaceful Nigeria where everybody will not be afraid to travel, or all live peacefully. I mean, we just pray and help and that the government have headway in their quest to fight insecurity.
And also that the military will keep recording such victories.
Well, I pray for them. It's not easy. Some of them die, you know, in the process. I mean, I give it all to them in all this.
That's about it for today. Thanks for joining us. My name is Dabiru Gifts, and I've had Mr. NCB Clifford with me. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Aspheric TV on YouTube, and please follow us on all of our social media platforms. On Instagram and Twitter, we are Aspheric News, and on Facebook, we are official Aspheric News. Thanks for watching. Bye.